Salut à toutes et à tous, merci d'être au rendez-vous de ce jeu, c'était podcast. Je suis ravie de vous retrouver. C'est un numéro hors-série aujourd'hui que je vous propose, durant lequel on va partir à la rencontre de Vleeshouwers, coach hollandais d'Amanda Anisimova, vainqueur la semaine dernière du WTA 1000 de Pékin. Depuis qu'il est à ses côtés, l'américaine fait un retour fulgurant sur le circuit et cette année 2025 est tout simplement exceptionnelle pour la joueuse. Après avoir remporté le WTA 1000 de Doha en février, Amanda Anisimova s'est qualifiée pour la finale de Wimbledon en battant la numéro 1 mondiale Aryna Sabalenka et est entrée dans le top 10 mondial. Quelques mois plus tard, elle disputait également la finale de l'US Open et intégrait le top 5. Derrière cette réussite se cache mon invité du jour et son équipe, Vleeshouwers, qui a discrètement renforcé la confiance de la joueuse et ravivé son jeu agressif. Cette interview, je l'ai enregistrée en anglais. Si vous allez sur YouTube, vous pourrez l'écouter en activant les sous-titres français automatiques. Merci Rick d'avoir accepté mon invitation. Est-ce que tu es prêt pour cet échange? Thank you very much Rick for accepting my invitation. Are you ready for this conversation?
100%. Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Then let's go.
Let's go.
Silence s'il vous plaît. Les joueurs sont prêts.
Thank you, Rick, for being my guest. You just flew back from China yesterday after celebrating that second title the right way, I suppose.
I think we finished the match around 9:15, 9:30 Beijing time at night. And then after, obviously, she needs to make pictures and do press and all of that things. And I think we arrived in the hotel around 11:30. We tried to find a bar to celebrate, actually, but everything was closed. So we spent a few moments in the hotel room, but we celebrated a little bit. I couldn't actually sleep because of the adrenaline, so I slept I think 2 hours, and then the whole travel back yesterday, and now back in Europe, in Belgium. Yeah.
So before we talk about that tournament and about the incredible year that Amanda is having by your side, can you first tell us what are your connections with Belgium? Because you are Dutch, but we can say you are Belgian because you've worked so many times here. You've worked with many Belgian players, Sofia Kostulas at the Justin Henin Academy. You've worked for the Kim Clijsters Academy. You coached Elise Mertens, Janina Wickmeyer, Jelin van Droom. Can you tell us a little bit through this journey that led you to Belgium?
Yeah, of course. Well, I actually started in Belgium with Elise Mertens as a hitting partner. I think when she was 14 years old. At that moment, I was still working in Holland as a coach. And that academy was like changing venues. And then through Elise, I got to Kim Clijsters, and she asked me to work for her academy. So I started there. And then I started there with Sofia when she was 10 already. So I worked a little bit with Sofia when she was 10 years old. And then together I was working at the same time with Elise. And then at some point, Sofia went to France.
To Jean-René Lisner?
Yeah, exactly. And then I worked a little bit with Janina. And the ball kept on rolling. And Sofia came back like 2 times. So I worked in total, I think 3 times with Sofia. Also multiple times with Elise. But I was always connected to the Kim Clijsters Academy in Brie. And that's also actually where I live right now. So it's, you could say I'm Dutch, but all of my tennis life is in Belgium, actually, yeah.
And how did you end up with Amanda Anisimova? Because that's not the same connection.
No. The physical coach, Rob Brandsma, he also works for Kim Clijsters Academy. And we did a lot of projects together. So also with Elise Mertens, we worked together. And he worked with Amanda like 3-4 years ago. And last year, after Roland Garros, Amanda quit with her team. And she had a WTA tournament in Holland, in Rosmalen, the grass tournament. So she connected with Rob to start with him again. And they were going to practice in Holland or Belgium anyway. So Rob told, hey, let's go to Brie. So she actually has been in Brie also. And I started with her, and it clicked very good from the beginning. And from that point on, we just decided after a few weeks, let's keep going and let's see how far we can get. So that's how it started, actually.
And you're going pretty far. That's good.
Yeah, it's going well, yes.
Yeah, Amanda Anisimova has been back on the circuit since January 2024 after a 8-month break due to mental health issue and a burnout. 24, that's when you joined the team in the middle of the year. Many people say that without you, this comeback might never have happened because you don't only train her, you also the discreet architect of her revival. Is that correct?
Well, it's tough to talk about myself like I'm like so important for her, because I feel in our team actually I think the team behind, because Rob and me, we speak the same language. We know each other for a long time. We don't have egos in the team, so everybody is actually on the same level. So you can actually work with the player the way you want. And that for me is the biggest success, that we as a team, we stay like grounded. We don't fight with each other about small things. I don't need the credits. Rob doesn't need the credits. The physio doesn't need the credits. We just work for one goal and trying to make Amanda the best player that she can be and give her also the trust. That's something I think if you ask Elise or you would ask Helene or Sophia, what I'm trying to do always is to let the player feel like they are the best player in the world, and that we can achieve things, even if you can't imagine it, we're gonna achieve them by working hard, by lifting themselves up and play with courage and be brave on the court. Tennis is already difficult enough, so to emphasize a lot on things that need to be improved and this needs to be better, or you didn't do that well, or why are you doing this? I always try to look forward and what we can do to change things. So a very positive mindset for me is very important, and especially in women's tennis, because it's a little bit more emotional. Mm-hmm. So they need to feel the trust, they need to feel confident in the work that's been doing, but they also need to feel there's someone in their corner that really boosts them and gives them the feeling that they are on the right path. And I think that's the biggest part of her success, along with the tactical stuff and match per match is different. And obviously, technically, we made some changes as well. But overall, I think the team dynamic and the positive mindset and the self-belief, self-confidence, especially for Amanda, because she plays very aggressive tennis and she's gonna make a lot of mistakes also. So that's part of her game style. But to accept that, but to keep going and stay on the right track and keep playing that brave tennis is very important for me to win championships. Because at some point, a defending game, in my vision, at least it's my vision, defending game or leaning on mistakes from the opponent is not going to be enough to reach the absolute high levels. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. But that means also that you need to work on the confidence of going forward and daring to be the aggressive player that you need to be, especially with some of the people that we see on the tour today.
Yeah, and if you look at the biggest players, they all have this. They all have the courage, they all can use their instinct as well, because I also believe that, okay, you have a tactical framework, but at some point also the player is responsible for the choices they make. And the instinct is very important as well. Like I can say 9 out of 10 times you need to play the ball there. But if she feels like on that point she want to make a different decision and she commits to make that decision, for me it's fine too, because she's responsible. I just give her choices and options, and in the end of the day, she's the one choosing. And I think aggressiveness, playing with instinct, and really try to play on your terms is actually very important. Like sometimes we lose a match, but we know, okay, we lost because we make too many mistakes, but we rarely lose because the other one was so much better. Because then you are really in trouble, right? If the other one is so much better, has better backhand, better forehand, moves better, bigger serve, then we can practice maybe 3 more years and then we reach this level. But I prefer to say, okay, we tried, we went for it, and okay, it's fine. next match.
And how did you build that confidence? Because when you started working with her, she was only coming back, so she probably had doubts.
Yeah.
It must have been hard to come out of this hard period that she went through. How did you manage to build that confidence with her?
Yeah, I think with Amanda though, she already had some really good results when she was really young.
Yeah.
So for her, the potential was always there, right? But obviously, until this moment, she still has doubts. She's more confident now, but she still has doubts. But it's like daily work, daily remindings, because she also has matches where maybe her forehand or her volley or her serve is not the way it should be. And immediately there is doubt. And immediately the next practice, she's going to ask me about it. And I need to be strong and be sure of myself and what I'm telling to her, that the message is good and we are on the right track. We keep building. This was just a one moment. I cannot show doubts. She can have doubts, but for me, it's impossible to have doubts and to show her that, because then also you come in like a circle that's going to be difficult. So I'll try to stick to my message regardless. And it sounds maybe funny, but I ask her a lot of times, like, who is the best? And then I want her to say me with confidence, That's something small, but that really helps, I think, at some moments. And obviously, if you start winning and you're winning more and more and more, that's the best way to get confidence, obviously. We had a bit of luck also in the start. We started working together, and I think the third or fourth tournament, she went to the final already in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So immediately she trusts the work that's been done, So if you have a result like early on, and maybe that was obviously the work me and Rob at that time did was good, because we know what we were doing, but we didn't expect to have a result so fast. But that helped her also believe in us, It works a bit both ways. Like, imagine if we did all this work and she would not have one result, then we probably wouldn't have worked together anymore.
Of course.
So,
but that's not luck, is it?
No, it's not luck. But I also do believe in tennis you have to zoom out, and there are, for example, matchups that are... I give you an example. We played against Coco Gauff and we won 6-2, 6-1. But I knew before that match was one of the easier matches for Amanda in that tournament, just because of the matchup. And Noskova in the final was a very, very tough opponent for us, just because she plays a different game style than Gauff. You have certain game style types that are difficult for us to play, and some game style types for us that are a lot easier to play. Okay. And regardless of ranking. So people say, oh, she's ranked like we play her, she's top 10. But for me, it's more like, okay, she can also be 30. But if that game style is difficult for us, it's more difficult to play the number 30 than the number 7. Like, the ranking doesn't say too much to me.
Of course.
It's more like the player itself.
Yeah. Just like Coco Gauff, who probably don't like to play girls that hit very hard in her forehand.
Exactly. That's it. So against Gauff, for us, the tactic is pretty clear and obvious. You still have to do it, obviously, but so it's not luck. But sometimes when you have the opportunity to use the draw, you also need to take the opportunity to use the draw and get there. But sometimes I can see the draw and I see, okay, this is going to be a tough matchup. We have to win that one. And then pop. And sometimes to win a tournament or to get really deep in a tournament, some things also need to go a bit your way,
In July, Rick, when she became the youngest American to play a final in Wimbledon since Serena Williams, that final ended up being a nightmare for Amanda with that 6-love loss. Yeah. How did you find the word to comfort her, and how did you live that defeat that must have been as tough for you as for her?
Whenever I think about it, I get still goosebumps, because she worked so hard for that final, and it was so well deserved also. And during that final, she was just completely frozen. She was not Amanda. And after the match, she was obviously completely on another planet. But I think the first words that I told her was like, Amanda, I know this is going to be very tough to believe, but you will come back from this, because this was not Amanda. Amanda didn't play this match. So at least if you look back at that, there was somebody on the court, but it wasn't you. So don't make this like a story about Amanda. Until the final, it was Amanda. In the final, we didn't see you. And use this as a lesson for an opportunity that you will get later on. And it sounds very easy, but I think, and that's, if I look back at this season, the way she dealt with that loss, that's for me the biggest win of the season. Because to lose 6-0, 6-0 in front of the whole world in your first final, yeah, that's, for us as a team, it's painful. But I actually cannot imagine how she really went through that period. But she reset it amazing, and
Yes.
maybe that even made her a better player now, So she really used that experience, and she dealt with it in a very good way. For me, that's the champion in her.
Yeah, that's incredible, the way that she came back at the US Open and came on that court playing another final. And, how did you mentally prepare her to forget about what just happened 2 months before?
Yeah, actually, it's like the daily things. I try to tell the same thing over and over and over and over again. And sometimes even tell her, I know it's going to sound boring again, but here I am again, telling the same thing. And in tennis, there is no time to look back too much. You only can look like what's in front of you. And if you keep doing that, and she found a way to get into the tournament in the US Open. She had a tough round against Christian, the Romanian, which wasn't a great match on her end. Yeah. And then the tournament goes, and then you forget about it, because while playing you forget about it. But I'm sure in the final she reminded her a little bit again about the final before. And to be fair, I think Sabalenka played a great match in the US Open final. We didn't play like we did in China. I think in China, Amanda's level was even higher than in the US Open. But the final was much better than the final in Wimbledon. And I'm sure, actually, Kim came to me after the match, and also she went to Amanda, Kim Kleisters, and she said, I lost a few finals too, the first few finals. And, you still went to the final. And if you keep playing like this, there are going to be more. And at some point, you're also going to win the final. Amanda is, of course, she's, I know her now for a bit, and she's a real perfectionist, and she really wants to win the US Open. So also that one was a very tough loss.
Yeah, I suppose.
It was very painful also.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, she comes back in China and does this. So yeah.
Yeah, the revival again.
Again, yeah. And good tennis. For me in Beijing, the level was, the match against Paulini was, for me, incredible level. And Paulini played amazing as well. I actually didn't expect Paulini to play that great, but she was very tough. And then the way Amanda played against Gauff, Gauff had zero chance. We just had zero chance. And that was also very impressive. So, yeah. Good times.
And she became the only player to beat Swiatek, Gauff and Sabalenka this year. What aspects of her game make her such a strong player? And who can she still fear?
I think, everybody talks always about her backhand, because her backhand is supernatural, super dangerous. But for me, the forehand is a big weapon as well. And if you look at the stats, the forehand does the same amount of damage in terms of winners. Sometimes it's still maybe a bit more up and down than the backhand. But for me, she is so unpredictable, because she is so aggressive, and she can take the racket out of your hands. You can stand there and you can have 2, 3, or 4 games where you don't get your racket to the ball. She just plays you out of the court. And that you see how uncomfortable that is for a lot of players, because you actually feel Gauff served 2 times more than 200 kilometers per hour, and she got a winner return. Amanda hit a winner on that serve. That's what she can do. She has the X factor a little bit. That's how I like to look at it. And she can really raise her level in matches as well. She can have a dip, but then suddenly she's there again. And then she plays again that aggressive 1-2 tennis.
So is it the type of Sabalenka's game that is the hardest for her to deal with?
I think even Sabalenka is not the worst opponent for us tennis-wise, but Sabalenka for me is extremely good with her aura, like her presence, like the way she carries herself, the way she has the tiger on her arm tattooed, but she really comes across like a tiger, like you feel when she walks on the court. And that is tough when you play Sabalenka. You know, she won't give up. She keeps fighting. She can be a bit emotional, but she's a true champion. And the tennis obviously is very good too. But it sounds maybe weird, but I think Amanda, tennis-wise, is already like at that level, and her highest ceiling is even higher than Sabalenka's ceiling. Only we need to be more consistent in our emotional stability, in our mental strength, in how we can play point by point, tournament by tournament. And if we find a way to improve that, then I think even number one is possible, to be really honest. Maybe that sounds a bit arrogant, but that's not how I mean it. I really believe that.
Yeah, with the level she showed in Beijing, is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, in Beijing also, like we played against Mukova and we lose the first set 6-1 and actually had zero chance. But then to turn it around and just completely change the whole match is so good. And the Amanda, I think from a few years ago, wasn't able to turn it around. Like it was either black or white. And now we can play like a bit gray in between and still win those matches. And I actually told her before in Beijing, I said, Roger Federer had such a good quote. He said, like, I'm really good in playing bad. Like, even if I don't play my best level, I can still find a way to win matches. And I think Amanda is really learning how to do that as well. Instead of playing perfect tennis and win 6-2, 6-2, now we can also win a match like, for example, against Christian at the US Open in the 3 sets. Didn't play good at all, but then played amazing against Haddad in round 4 again, you know? So you give yourself opportunities to stay in the tournament. And I think that's something in 2026 that if she can consistently do that, then even more good things can happen, I think.
And do you think that the fact that she went through some difficult times mentally has given to her the opportunity to grow on the court, mentally wise too?
Yeah, I believe that. I don't talk to her too much about that because it was not a period where I was there, and I don't feel that's my task to talk to her a lot about those things. But she obviously said in a lot of moments that period was really useful for her to find herself again and to also find the joy back for the game, which she really does have now. And that helps a lot. Like now she's happy to compete instead of maybe, I have to compete. So she finds joy in the competition. And in Beijing, she played the 3rd set against Paulini. And after the match, she actually told me, like, hey, I really enjoyed this today, you know? And that's something for me, like, okay, if that's going to click and she's going to really enjoy these battles, regardless if she's up in score or down in score, there's also big progress.
As a coach, are you convinced that starting too young, like she did, and she was a semi-finalist at the French Open when she was only 17, is a good thing? Or more and more, it appears that the players give their best later on during their career? It's necessary to take time to build a player instead of wanting him to be a champion at 18. What is your thought about it?
Yeah, I think you need to make a difference in girls and boys also, because if you see girls, they are just earlier mature, so they will have better results early on. And the real good ones, they are like 15, 16, and they can compete already with like top 100, top 50. That's just how it is. Is there a good or bad? I'm not sure, but what I do believe is that the environment is really important. So you need to stay in a healthy environment, and that keeps you also a bit humble and stay with both feet on the ground. And that process of guiding a young player is really challenging because with those big results and so many attention and maybe so many sponsorships or so many people watching you, you need good guidance. And I think that's very important. And take Alcaraz as an example, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he's a good example of someone that's really young, but he sticks to the same people, same routines, never anything crazy, always smiling, always happy. It depends really on the person itself and how the environment can deal with the attention and the pressure.
Amanda used to have the reputation of someone who didn't like to train too much or to work too much. Is that something that she changed today to realize that with a lot of work she would get to where she wants to be? Have you seen an evolution in her mindset?
Yeah, I there's definitely an evolution, because when I started with her, it was tough to have like full days of practice, and now it's easy to have full days of practice. So there's definitely an evolution. Is she like the Spanish player that's gonna practice 10 hours a day and run from side to side? No, she's not. But that's also not her game style, you know. So I think she works hard. I think she starts to enjoy it more and more. And yeah, I hear those stories a lot too, but I cannot really agree with all those things, because for me it's not like that. She does what she needs to do. Are there days that maybe we could do a bit more? Yeah, of course, but that will always be the case. I think there's a big involvement in that, and you can also see, like, I think this season she played the most matches she ever played. It's the longest season for her, the most tournaments. It's like a milestone season, and you can only do that with the right practice and the right people.
Yeah. And you were talking about her game style. Do you want to implement a little bit of variation in her game, to use a little bit more slice, come more to the net? Or
yeah, in Beijing we already started a little bit. To come in more to the net is one of the things we try to do in Beijing, but I think in general she needs to do that a lot more, because she actually has okay volleys and she has a good drive volley. She's tall, so she can cover the net pretty good. And half of the time when you come to the net, you don't even get the volley anymore, but your ball is just much better. I think in Beijing, even in the final, she went 10 times to the net and she won 9 out of 10 points. So that's something we have to keep doing, and I want her to be brave to keep doing that. Another thing is that I want her to vary the serve a bit more, so not only serve in one speed, but have different speeds to make the other side think a bit more. We work a lot on drop shots. That's something that she actually can do very well, but in a match, that's something she still didn't do too much. But I think that there's a big improvement on that as well, because she will hit very aggressively. She will have the opportunity to move in the court. Player moves back, and sometimes she wants to keep hitting hard, but the player is already against the fence, so she can finish easy with a drop shot. So like those detailed things we still have to implement, and that's also fun, because that makes my work fun as well.
Yeah, yeah. And Philippe Dehaze was saying that he was wondering if today it was still possible to try to make a girl play with more variety. He was saying, how is it possible still today when you see how hard they hit and how difficult it is to come to the net, because the ball is going so fast, and from the return onwards, it's just very difficult to make girls today play with more variety. Do you agree with that, with him?
Yeah, I agree. But if you look, for example, Beijing or US Open, two hard courts, but completely different. Like US Open is really fast, really short points, but Beijing is actually very slow. So Paulini, she just went back a lot on Amanda's serves. She sometimes even played a really high, slow return. Paulini, she was varying a lot. It is possible, but obviously against players like Amanda in general, it's tough to do that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think on clay, on a slower hard court, there's still enough room. If you see Mukova, who varies a lot, I think the most difficult thing is for girls in juniors to really already start doing that, because if you do it at a later stage, it's going to be more difficult. And then your game needs to be like, yeah, Amanda, I mean, she has this aggressive game throughout her whole career, so she doesn't need to vary that much, because if she's attacking, then most of the times we win the points. But to go back to your question, no, I think it's still possible, but it takes a lot of patience. And then again, you have to be really, really good at it to have success with it. So you really have to commit to it and believe it and doing it day by day, because if you're just gonna slice like a few matches, or you're gonna play high balls a few matches and then you don't do it anymore, and then you gonna hit slow and then fast, then you have to consistently keep doing that day in, day out, and through every match, and really believe that that's your game style.
Yeah.
Because I believe also that that's also my vision, by the way, that as a player, you have a certain identity,
Yeah.
right? You want to play that way. These are your best things, but then you have to try to play to that identity day in, day out. And you cannot play one day completely out of it and then you want to be something else. No, just play through your, as close as you can through your identity, and practice that way also. And if you keep doing that every day, then you also feel more comfortable because you know who you are on the court. You don't have to ask yourself, what do I need to know? You know what to do, right?
Yeah,
That's,
definitely.
for me, it's very important.
And your methodology as a coach is to review Amanda's matches on the same evening that they are played, identifying small tactical adjustments while helping her stay confident and focused. Is that how you do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do it for multiple reasons. One of the reasons is that I believe that when I see the match in real life, I have an opinion of the match. But yeah, Amanda's obviously top 4, top 5 player now. So immediately after, I get a lot of messages from everybody and a lot of opinions. And I first want to see it back like on a TV screen for myself. If my opinion of the match was correct, if I have still the same opinion as I had when I was watching it. Obviously, I also can stop and watch back or replay or do all those different things. But it makes me help create a stronger opinion. So when I talk to her the next day about the match, I'm really confident in the message I'm sending out. And there we are again. Like, if I am confident, then it's more easy for her to believe what I'm saying. Because if she would say to me, no, but that's not true. But I can say, hey, I just watched the whole match back again. We can watch it together if you want, but you can believe me, it's true.
Yeah.
So sometimes we finish at like 12 or 1 a match, but every day, every match, I watch it back before I go to sleep. So the first thing I do is watch it back, find my opinion, make some notes, so I'm confident in my head that what I'm doing is right. Like, it's more for that.
And sometimes you feel like you were wrong?
Yeah, sometimes I see a match back and I was like, oh, this was a bad choice, or why did she do that? And I watch it back and I think like, it actually wasn't that bad of a choice. Or I believe, oh, the opponent actually did some good things as well. Or with the serve, for example, like, did she use the kick serve enough? And in my opinion, she didn't. But then I look it back and I'm like, oh yeah, she actually did, you know. But before I speak to someone, I really want to know myself if that's the case. So I don't say something that's not true. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you also, how is Amanda outside of the court? Can you talk to us a little bit about her? Because we don't know her really well.
She's outside of the court. She's super funny. She's super laid back, happy also. So she's very relaxed. Like, I would say maybe really American also. I think it's a bit of American, laid back and you know, baggy sweatpants. Just very calm, very, very relaxed. On court is something different. So during practice, during matches, she's completely different. But like in free time, she's very fun and easy to hang around. We go to the cinema sometimes, or we go as a team for a walk. We do some things together. It's never like you feel like, oh, it's awkward or anything. It's very natural. Like it's fun. That makes it a lot easier, actually. No, she's a very funny, very happy girl. Yeah. Social also, very social.
I suppose she wants to become the number 1 American. That would be a goal.
That's definitely a goal. And it actually can happen soon.
Yeah,
if we play good finals, I think there is a chance she can be the first American, yes.
And do you still follow the Belgian tennis a little bit, the girls that you have coached? Do you still watch up what they're doing on the circuit?
Yeah, a lot. Like, I still have a very good connection as a person with Sophia. It was always really good working with her. Like, and I like the family a lot as well. And with Yeleen also. For me, she's a great player, a great person. Also really funny, nice to be around. And I predict a very good future for her in women's tennis, because she really has the aggressive game, strong mindset. She's smart. I think Belgium is gonna have some fun with her. I really believe in her tennis. I always did.
You must have seen her at the US Open because she won at the junior title.
Yeah, I actually saw a few matches, and she played the one match against, I think her name was Panikova, an American.
Yep.
And I actually was watching from really, really high in the stands, but that match was really impressive. Both girls were playing really good, and I think if you put that match in like a first round main draw match, nobody would have thought that level would not belong there. So that was fun to see. The rest of the matches I couldn't really see because of my schedule. And after she won it, I saw her on the day of the final a bit as well, before our final started. I told her congratulations, gave her a big hug, and I hope she continues with the good work.
And Kim Clijsters, you still talk to her?
I just saw her at the US Open after the final and before the final a little bit, because she was also watching Jelene.
Yeah.
So we are not like in touch a lot, but when we see each other, we do speak with each other. Yeah.
And the men's, do you follow a little bit of our boys?
For sure. Like I'm a big fan of Zizou.
Yeah, he did well.
He did well. I play a bit of chess with Zizou. He loses every time, but he's trying. But no, he's doing well, and I really like his presence on a court. And I asked him in the US Open to practice with Amanda one session, and he did. They practiced together as well. So that was fun. Yeah, fun to follow him. And for the rest, on the boys' side, I think Colin Rowan is doing really good. But I don't really know him or saw him a lot of playing. But Zizou for sure, yeah.
And you enjoy your life on the tour with Amanda. You travel a lot with her. It's a life that you enjoy.
Yeah, it's. I think everybody outside would say, "Whoa, it's amazing," and this and that. But I also have a daughter from 5 years old that I miss a lot, and I've traveled, I think, more than 42 weeks already. So it's going to be, I think in the end of the year, it's going to be 46 or something. So that's a lot. So yeah, I enjoy it a lot, but I'm also aware that like for my family, it's really tough too. So for sure, I'm going to continue, but I at some point, I want to take my family more with me or maybe travel a little less weeks than I do now, or have some practice moments in Europe if that's possible, or in a later stage maybe work with somebody that is closer to me. But yeah, for now, actually, this is also it's also my best season as a coach, so I gotta enjoy the ride a little bit, and we have a great team. So yeah, for now it's all good. For my daughter, it's tough sometimes, so I hope she can come with me as well.
Yeah, and can Amanda come and play a little bit in Belgium?
She actually, before the final, she will come to Holland because she would really like to see Amsterdam. She hasn't been there, so we're gonna most likely practice a bit in Amsterdam. Yeah, that makes it also a bit easier for me again.
Yeah.
And then we go to the finals, and then after finals it's just a short period again, and then preseason already starts. Like the calendar is really, really full.
Yeah, and preseason, you're doing that in the States?
Yes, in Miami, where she lives.
It was great to talk to you, Rick. Very interesting. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to Je C'était podcast. I see that it's time for you to go and get your daughter. Enjoy with her. I hope that we can meet each other for real one time.
We will. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Rick, and talk to you later.
Talk to you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.